I would temper my thoughts on the property market purely based on 4 weeks. And I think we need to see more of a quarter or a series of quarters to see where the property market is going. I find it interesting that the general public judge the property market on house prices, whilst in reality, the people who are watching this, which is estate agents, they should not be concerned about house prices. They should be more concerned about transaction levels. And this is what we're talking about, is transaction levels. You know, if house prices drop 20%, I'm going to say here, and if they drop 20%, if anyone's bought a house in the last 2 years with a 95% mortgage, my heart bleeds for you. My heart does go out for you, but you're only going to lose if you sell, which if you've been in a house a year, you're not going to be looking to sell it, are you? It's all about transactions, and estate agents need, you know, even if we go from a market, you know, Stuart, I think we've sold about, is it about 1.4 million houses in the last year? Is that about, yeah? A normal market's 1.1 million. Even if we go into recession in 2023 to the same level that we saw in 2008, we'll go down to 850,000 transactions. The estate agents need to get a bigger slice of a smaller pie. Yeah. And this is why it's important that if you are an estate agent, you need to be aware of these stats. So when you're at the free valuation, you can say, this is what's happening in the property market today, Mrs. Miggins, and this is how it affects you, and this is why you need to be realistically priced to get the house sold.
But it's also a different lending market, though, isn't it? I mean, if you look back at what happened in the global financial crisis, you found that a lot of people, and you know, with the Northern Rock thing around and the Together mortgage or whatever, a lot of people were borrowing 95% levels and even over 100% in some cases, whereas a lot of people now have got equity in their property.
Definitely.
In fact, you know, most of them have, and the percentage of those has increased dramatically. So I think we're in a completely different situation to other potential downturns, and whatever happens, you know, the market is going to get tougher, I think, but you know, volume should be quite robust because that underlying demand is still there, and people have the ability to withstand, say, I don't know, a 5, 8, 9% fall in prices.
But interestingly, even if house prices drop by the same percentage that they dropped in the credit crunch of 2008, it will only bring us back to prices that we were getting in 2020.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. And I think that's again where perspective comes into play. Now, there will be people that have absolutely overstretched themselves in the last couple of years, but Chris is absolutely right. That only affects you if you choose to sell. If you're not looking to move and you haven't been heavily hit financially with affordability, you can still afford the mortgage despite the increase of interest rates, you're just holding tight. And I mean, looking at the statistics, you know, decade after decade, effectively, especially in London, property values double. So when you pan back, there shouldn't be too much to actually worry about. But what the focus should be, like Chris was saying, is on those transaction levels. If you have a chunk of the pie, how do you increase it?
I mean, interestingly, you know, a lot of people are worried about the number of people who are coming off fixed rate mortgages. You know, and they reckon there's about 1.3 million people coming off fixed rate mortgages in the next 12 months. Well, they've been used to mortgage rates of 1.5%, 2%, and they're going to be getting mortgage rates now of 3, 4, if not a little bit more. But the mortgage market review of 2014, implemented because of the problems that happened in the credit crunch, meant they were stress tested at the time up to 5 and 6%. But interestingly, I did an exercise recently where, you know, if someone's on a 22-year mortgage and they're coming off, say, a 2% rate, if you've got to pay 4%, which is, you know, it won't be a doubling of the mortgage because of the way maths work, but it will be a good 60, 70% increase. If you increase the term from, say, 22 to 35 years, your mortgage payments will remain the same. So again, estate agents need to be aware of this. So when someone's saying, oh, I can't afford the mortgage payments, well, have you considered extending the term of the mortgage?
Yeah.